All right, welcome back to episode 6 of Let's Be Blunt. I am here again with Donovan and Terry Gray. We are going to talk about our champs trip. It was a wild time, not only because I was out there playing blackjack till 5 o'clock in the morning, but also because there was a bunch of cool products. We're going to talk about the new Sound Wrestling event coming up, and also some deals that you might have missed if you're not into the rewards. So I guess let's get into it.
Sweet. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, let's talk about the deals first. I kind of threw Zach off on the last few days and just throwing out prices, and he's like, no, we can't do that. But then it's like, too late. I already told people. So.
Yeah, I definitely got thrown into the wolves. I wish I had a bat to fend them off for a little bit. I was not ready. But yeah, we had half-gram cards that we were blowing out deals for $10. I mean, it was roughly around like $12.19 after tax. So you could have got 2 of them, a whole gram, for $25. Best deal in the state, and if you weren't on rewards, you would have got a text, but you might have missed out. So next time you stop in, definitely ask your bud tender if you're signed up with the reward system. And then we also are getting a ton more deals, and we have Purple Octane right now for $42 for a 4 gram, which is insane. And then I'll let you come in and see the rest of the deals. I don't want to spoil them too much.
And we're excited because we have hopefully new products. We're told that there's a few new edibles coming in. Is this true, Zach? Or
yep. Hopefully next week they should be officially done testing, and then the week after that, finally on a transporter to us. It takes a lot of hoops to get them onto that truck, but hopefully they will be to us then. We also don't have just edibles coming at the end of the month. We should actually have dabbables. I know a lot of people have been wanting some dabs. So that's pretty exciting.
And where will those be coming from?
So those are going to be another micro, which is cool that we get to work with another micro, because a lot of people were thinking most micros were going to grow and just, hog all their supply just for themselves. But these people are very dedicated to get their craft out there with other shops like us, to have every Minnesota person try their product. They want everyone to taste what they're producing, which is pretty rad. So they're from the Stash & Co. They do a collaboration with Loon Labs, so it's pretty nice to get it. It's going to be a full gram, and it's going to be really exciting. I know I'm going to get a couple when they come in.
And what dabs might be new for some people, what are they going to need? And for them to buy dabs from you, what are they going to need to purchase along with that?
So it depends if what they have at home. If they have a water pipe, they could get either a quartz accessory and some type of rig to heat that up. If they have absolutely nothing, they could either get a electronic device, that you press it and it heats it up for you, or they could get a nectar collector and a torch, which is you just heat up the tip and just go straight at it. So multiple ways to go into it. It's really just preference. I mean, cheapest way too is nectar collector. I know most of them start roughly like $15 to $20. So I mean, not too much of an addition, and people have nectar collectors for years. So I mean, $20 for a year-long purchase, as long as you don't drop it, is pretty good bang for your buck.
Don, what's your favorite way to partake in the dabs?
I prefer Dr. Dabber devices. I think their e-rigs are crazy cool. And we just saw that new one out at Champs, which was kind of like a hush-hush thing, but now it's all over the internet, so now everyone's kind of been seeing it lately. But the Dr. Dabber Ghost 2 has been really fun lately. Nice to switch away from Puffco. They've been kind of dominating the market for the longest time, so it's cool to see other people put out nice products with a lot more diverse options on it, like heat settings and everything, and then everyone's going to the app control now too. So, yeah, it's definitely worth investing into an electronic device if you can, versus going the nectar collector straw route like Zach was saying. It is a method, but I wouldn't recommend it. It is a very economical method, though, that's for sure. It's definitely softer on the wallet than buying one of them electric devices. But
we have some electric devices coming in starting around, I think, $35. So I mean, still close to the nectar collector cost. They are disposable, so once the ceramic core gets like cooked up, you do throw it away and you go buy a new one. But I mean, $35 is still cheaper than the $300, and so that Puffco and stuff are charging. Speaking of the Dr. Dabber, the new one, the Dr. Dabber Go, it's supposed to be comparable to the new Peak. But yeah, we all hit it while we were at Chance. It was pretty phenomenal. I like the joystick cap that they had. It was pretty flexible. You got to move it around pretty easily. A lot easier than the Switch 2, I would say. And they kind of said it themselves as well.
They did make that cap a lot better than the Switch 2 for sure. The Switch 2's cap was sticky, gunky. It would always just never move. It was always terrible.
Yeah, it was my only thing I hated about the Switch 2 was that the cap. I use pretty much any other cap I could put on there. I use my spinner caps and my bubble caps before the stock cap. So
let's clarify for people who might not know what a joystick and what a cap is. So can you explain it in a little more detail?
Yeah, so the cap is going to be what is on top of the heating element, and it's going to get airflow down to the bucket, and the bucket is where the concentration is going to be. So when you're breathing in air through that, you're going to get air moving that concentration all around that bucket and to all the other heat areas on the bucket. So you're just moving the wax to another part of the heating element that's still hot because the wax wasn't on there. So you kind of just get to move it around and keep swapping the heating spots. So that essentially you hit all of your dab and it's not cooling down on you. And then they don't make just bubble caps. They also, for lazy people like me, make something called a spinner cap, where you don't have to keep messing with it. You just put it on there, and it starts to spin it for you. So the whole time you're hitting it, it's going to spin your concentration and your wax, your concentrate and your wax around the heating element, so you don't have to do it yourself, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, the joystick cap is pretty cool. Imagine, I know everyone's probably played video games before. So, on the controller, you have those joysticks where you move your character around when you're playing. That's exactly what they would have right on the top of that device. So you literally just wiggle it around and move it. And like Zach said, just spreads it all around. Oh, yeah.
So the big players are Puffco, Dr. Dabber, maybe Carta. Is Carta still popular? Or
Yeah, so Carta came out with, I think, the Carta Sport now. So it's their new economically choice. I think it's $245-ish, I believe.
$235, yeah.
$235, so even better. I was trying to get 10 for myself. But so yeah, it's definitely cheaper than most of the other ones. It's actually kind of cool because it has a screen on the side of it.
Not for the Sport.
Oh, that's only the two. I'm sorry. Yeah. Does it have app control on the Sport?
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, you could still load into the app, set your heat settings. You could, if you don't want a 35-second hit, you could set it to a minute and a half. You could set it to 400 degrees, 700 degrees. I myself am a little hotter of a dabber. I know Don dabs a little bit cold. I say he doesn't know how to dab, but...
And I know back in the day, people would say the electronics aren't as pure, or they don't taste as good. Is that true still, or has things progressed enough that the electronics are just as good as the using a rig?
100% has progressed. A lot of the times, way back in the day, it was old ceramic coils where they didn't really know what they were doing. It wasn't fully encased, so you were putting it straight on a ceramic tile. But now they're more quartz, so they're more quartz heating elements. So quartz is definitely best for the flavor. That's what's in most of the Dr. Dabbers, so that's pretty cool. And then also, big player for flower is Storks and Bissell. They've been probably the number one flower competitor for vaporizers for probably 25-something years.
Yeah, I think it's 30 years with the that evergreen volcano that they came out with recently. Those dark green ones.
Okay, yeah, and they came out, they pretty much took top place on the market, and no one's dethroned them yet. There have been tough contenders like the Silver Surfer, if people remember that from back in the day, but I don't even think they make those anymore. Volcano's still definitely number one.
I think Silver Surfer is still around, which is crazy.
And with the volcano, do they have a way to do concentrates through the volcano now, or is it still just flour?
Yeah, so they do have the hybrid one, but it does raise the price quite a bit. And in my own opinion as well, I never like to mix my flour and the concentrates, even though you're swapping swapping the parts, you still have that heating element that's still kind of touching both. So for me, the flavor would probably kind of transfer over. So I would just get, like, if you're going for a volcano, get like a Puffco Proxy or a Core or something for the side.
And Don, can you explain, if people might not know what a volcano is, can you explain like the balloon system and how that works with the Volcano Classic?
Oh, geez. The Volcano is a crazy system. I'm sure if anyone who's listening has definitely been smoking for a while, I'm sure they've probably seen one around, or a buddy's maybe had one. It's that big pyramid cone device where it just sits on your tabletop. It's not mobile at all. You don't move it around really. And it'll just have a big, like, turkey plastic bag on the top, and it'll basically just fill that all up with smoke using like a mix of I believe it's conduction and induction. Or maybe convection. I can't remember what the two methods of heat are used in the Volcano, but they are the only device, Storz and Bickel, they're the only ones that use devices with those capabilities to have both heating properties in it, instead of other devices. Typically for like flower vaporizers, especially older ones back in the day, they were always using combustion. So you weren't even really vaping your products. You were just completely like lighting them up, torching them, basically like you would be with the flame. So yeah, Volcano is going to get you a lot cleaner of a hit, and it's going to actually vaporize your products down to where you're just going to have that raw material left, and you can use that again for a second use in like a baking purpose. So like if you put it in, make butter, you can make edibles and stuff with that product after you vaporized it with the Volcano. But it's a really cool piece to see. I think, Zach, you were hoping to get some Volcanos in the dispensary sometime.
Yeah, we actually have the Onyx one right now, and not only just for the dispensary. I've been telling Terry, I was like, I want one myself. I was like, I need one again. I hit one way back in the day, but I want one. I've been smoking flower a lot more recently. Normally I'm a dabber, but the past couple months I've been enjoying bowl rips. I've actually just bought a new water pipe from Hams. It's Hams Waterworks. He's one of the OG inventor of the recycler in the water pipe form. But it's an inside-out water pipe, so it's gnarly. So when you hit it, it looks like it's going to splash in your mouth, but then it just instantly funnels straight back down. So if you have Instagram, I definitely recommend you check out Hams Waterworks. Amazing American glass artist. So back, I know I get to rambling, back to what we were talking about. Yeah, I want to get a ton more of Storks and Bissels for the dispensary. They have that killer olive green one that just came out.
Yeah, and Don mentioned a turkey bag. I remember when we were out of bags for people, we'd always say, you can just go buy a turkey bag, because that's basically what it is. And you can tie it off on the end and then come back to it later. So you got the bag and you fill it up, and if you want to wait an hour and come back, you just go back to that bag. It's definitely an interesting concept. It's also more expensive, but it's kind of like the Mercedes, because it is just like Mercedes, made in Germany. Most of the products, electronic products, are made in China, and this one is made in Germany and designed in Germany. All their products are. So they are a little bit more expensive, but you are got the German engineering. So
Yeah, Volkswagen too.
And it is convection and conduction that they use for the heating elements with the Volcano. I just double checked.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about Champs. They had a glass blowing competition out there, and so we're going to talk a little bit about who won the awards. So first place was an amazing sculptured piece by Nico Cray. Don, what did you think of it?
Oh, it was crazy cool. The colors that Nico used on that piece were absolutely beautiful. He didn't use a lot of crazy techniques, I would say, but he did play with some really good white colors and didn't burn them, as far as I noticed. No tool marks or nothing. He has a little astronaut sitting right in the middle of this all, with a spaceship rocket flying up above him and some smoke behind him. And a bunch of planets sitting around on some clouds. Really sick piece. It was honestly really, really cool.
Pretty gnarly too, because he usually just does like snake format, so it's something like, out of his realm, and he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he really switched it up.
The theme this year was out of this world, so the majority of the pieces were space themed, which was really cool to see.
Yeah, and then there was a bunch of pieces that, I think they had up to fifth place, but there was a phenomenal artist named Terry Sharp. He had this crazy dichro piece. If you don't know what dichro is, it's pretty much super shiny glass in simple wording. But it was crazy. So you took out all these functional parts, and they were all different pipes, and then you put it together, and it would literally make a piece of art that you wouldn't think was a pipe. And then you take the head off, and it was like a dry spoon. You look at the torso, it was a water pipe. You look at the back rib cage, it was a Sherlock. It was crazy to see it all incorporated.
Yeah, what other artist placed on that event?
So second place was SD Rhino. He did this hourglass that actually had sand moving in top and bottom, and then at the bottom of it had the water chamber, so you could hit it from the top of the hourglass but not get the sand in your mouth, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. And it was like a stack, so you could take it off and then flip it, and then you'd have a mouthpiece on whichever end. It didn't matter. So it was really cool. You could smoke out of it while you watch the sand still fall.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize back in the day when there weren't these electric devices to tell you the temp of your banger, people did the hourglass. They would heat up their banger, and then they would flip it, and then when the sand was done, you knew it was time for your dab. It was kind of like the OG chirp timer.
And a lot of these artists, they have themes that they kind of go with on all their pieces. So SD Rhino, what's his themes, Zach?
So he's a SD Rhino, he's a duck guy. He has these little duck figurines, and even in the hourglass, there was a little duck at the top and the bottom, and in the water chamber, there was a bunch of ducks. He does crazy amount of little duckies. It's cool to see him. And then, who was third place?
For People's Choice, I'm not. I think it might have been Dakota.
I think it was Bertoni. Bertoni did a pretty gnarly piece. He normally does like fish, sea stuff, and then like flamingo type of creatures, and he did pretty much all of that, but incorporated it with a UFO beam king, like so they all were getting sucked out of the world.
Yeah, the thing was pretty sick.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly, and then a lot of people don't know glass colors, but a huge one is called Illuminati and an ion. And those, when you shine a UV light on it, it glows pretty much bright green. And he used that on the tractor beam going up to the UFO. So if he hit it with a UV light, it literally looked like they were getting abducted by an alien. So it was pretty gnarly to see. And they were all competing for a 20 grand, grand prize. So it wasn't like it was a small amount of chump change.
Besides the glass at Champs, did you see anything that you're excited about for the dispensary?
Yes. So a while back, we had this product called Peace Water, and they just redid their formula. And now they have it where you add a little bit of water, and it makes a 12-ounce formula. You put it into your water pipes, and it makes it cleaner. So for people who don't like to clean their pipes so often, you do this, and it kind of saves the glass from getting resin built up. So it kind of clumps it better up in the water, so you could just scroll it out, or not scroll it, but so you could just clean it out a little bit better, and then you don't have to clean your pieces as often. Not only that, Quave Club Bangers just came back out. They were there selling Charmers, which is pretty cool. A lot of people love American quartz, and it was cool to see them back in action and in production. We did get a bunch of gnarly tubes in, so a bunch of glass will be hitting the shelves as soon as the artists make it. I'm super excited. They were pretty cool looking tubes. I might have to get another one myself if my wife won't kill me.
What's a charmer? You said charmer.
So a charmer is Quave's style of banger, and it is a flat disc with the well going up. So you put your dab in at the bottom, and then it feeds it up to the well. So you would have a pearl in there, and it spins it around the whole time. And if you don't know who Quave is, he is an OG GOAT legend in the glass game. Definitely go give his Instagram a look. He makes amazing glass pieces, does amazing collaborations with high-end artists all the time. His work's highly sought after. But he also does quartz bangers, and quartz is a type of material that's supposed to be heated up constantly, not constantly, but it's okay to be heated up to high degrees, like 500 to 800 degrees, without degrading. And that's what usually people dab in, is anywhere from the 450 to the 600-ish, I would say, range. Some people like to go crazy and go like 710, 720, but I don't recommend it unless you hate your lungs and want to cough for a couple hours. But
Don't
to each
hang
their
out
own.
with those people. Stay away from them.
If your dab goes into the banger and it turns black, you're dabbing too hot. Just know that.
All right, and Don found the
results.
The results.
The results are
For
in.
Champs Glass Games. So we were right, it was Nico Cray who won first place. So he got the $20,000 first place prize, which is absolutely insane. Like, that's nuts. That's just crazy.
Yeah, we have a couple Nico pieces downtown too. So if you want to see some of his work showcased, definitely go give it a look.
Yeah, we have some gems from him. Some really cool pieces. And then SD Rhino, the duck guy, like Zach was saying, he won second place. So that was $7,500, which is crazy. I'm looking at pictures of these guys holding giant checks by the way, so it's hilarious. And then Bertoni did win third place, $5,000.
And then fourth was Phil, right?
Fourth place was Phil Siegel, yep.
And
Nice.
what's Phil Siegel known for?
Wizards, Gnome Little Wizards. He's actually one of my favorite artists. I love those guys. One day I will own a Phil piece. They're amazing. You think of, your grandma's little gnome creature. Imagine that with a 10 millimeter joint in the back, and you can hit off the top of its head. Amazing little guys. All have tons of life and creativity in them. I love his work. He knocks them all out of the park. Some of his collabs he's done in the past couple of years, I'm like, you can't get better than this. And then he does another one. I'm like, all right, you can't get better than this. And then another one comes out. I'm like, dude, just stop. Just stop. My eyes, they're hurting. They're too good. But
And with the artists like Phil Siegel, they sometimes come out with toys too.
you got one of his plushies, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then I think somewhere in one of my ISO bins, I have one of his pillars for... A pillar is made for your quartz bangers, so it's also like a pearl, so it moves the wax around. He made these little gemstones. I have one of those somewhere.
We've talked a lot about glass. Anything, Don, at the show you saw that you're excited about besides glass?
Oh my God, the Champs Glass Games Lounge. Do you remember that? Everyone was playing with those RC cars and climbing the mountain. That was amazing. Mike Philpott, he was having a great time.
Yeah, I messaged my wife. I was like, we might have to get my 2-year-old an RC car. I was playing with the RC car for 10 to 15 minutes, and then I was like, wait, we got things we have to go see. Bam Margera was there.
Yeah,
he was
Bam
skating.
Margera
That
was there
pretty,
for the
pretty
curb
cool.
show.
Yeah.
Yep. He was judging the contest for the curb show. A local Vegas kid ended up winning it, which was pretty gnarly. The Quave Club guys, they gave Bam Margera a Quave Club banger with Bam Margera wrapped around the front of the bucket.
That's amazing.
So cool.
Yeah, and if you like raw rolling papers, he gave both Common Sense and High Fidelity a shout out as the best spots in the not only Minnesota but South Dakota.
Yeah, we got to talk to Josh. I'm sure if you guys follow our Instagram, you probably saw the video we posted. So.
Yeah, he brought Gary Payton out there. A lot of people love Gary Payton. Mike Tyson was out there with Futurola signing some his Tyson rap, so that was pretty cool. Trying to think out. They bring out all the bells and whistles, so it's always a fun show to go to.
We got to meet Weavers, as he's known on Instagram, and he made that giant Snoop Dogg bust. That smokable blunt, that big, huge
Yeah, it was
head.
600 grams in a joint. It was pretty insane.
Yep.
And he also made the World Cup, so it was pretty cool.
Yep.
So when I can hardly roll a joint myself, so to see someone do something like that, I'm like, you guys are blessed.
Sculpting with paper and weed is just crazy. Just making a huge Snoop Dogg head. That's nuts.
If you have Instagram, follow Raw, because every year they do a competition, and the stuff that people produce is insane. One dude made a Minotaur one year.
We made that skate park.
I mean, smokable things.
Yeah, Raw does a competition every year too. Don just mentioned that stores can use all the Raw products and make a. Is it a theme, Don?
Yeah, typically it's a theme. Last year I think it was like Go Vote, and then this year I think it was like Go Skate. And they kind of switched it up throughout the years. I know they did like a USA one a couple years ago where it was. I know the winner was someone had made like a huge, like 5.5 foot tall, like Statue of Liberty, basically just made out of all Raw products. It's just crazy cool. Some of the creativity some of these people have doing some of these contests. We unfortunately didn't win when we put our skate park in, but as an entry. But oh well, that's fine.
You won in the locals' heart.
Yeah,
that's all. That
everyone loved it when they saw it on display. It was cool.
I think it happened in typical urban legend, common sense fashion, where Don was working on it all night long, and then slept right through the deadline to submit the pictures. So
yeah, that's pretty much.
That's probably why we didn't win, because I think otherwise we probably would have taken home the trophy for
you
that.
act like you didn't have 2 months beforehand.
That's true.
Oh, jeez.
That's true.
It's okay. It came out really cool.
Well, one thing I'm excited about is the Levo is back at the Champs, and we haven't been able to carry Levo products for a long time. They weren't wholesaling. And Don, tell us more about Levo products.
Oh, Levo is great. I don't know if anyone's ever had magical butter makers. I know I was talking about making edibles earlier with your vaporized product out of a volcano. But what you can do with Levo is you can take your cannabis flower, you can just throw that into this device, and you can essentially make oils out of it. You can even make like besides just butter, you can infuse oils, so you can use like olive oil or whatever other kinds of oils.
Or not even just oils, easy gummies too. If you don't want to do cooking with it, you could just make gummies, make you a 10-pack and be done with it.
Yep.
And not only that, they have a new one coming out very, very soon, and it was probably the most pocket-friendly one I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I think they're really trying to expand because they had that huge time period where like you could only get them in Target. And that was like it, and then we'd even try reaching out to them, and they just nothing.
It's
ever.
crazy.
Yeah.
Levo and Target.
The new one will only be $199 retail too, which is super reasonable because I think in the past, like the Keurig style, those were running. How much do you remember, Don?
The Levo C, I think. Yeah, I think it was like 300 something for sure. It was pretty high.
And we are running out of time, so we want to plug, though, a big event coming up this Saturday in Laverne. It's our first community event that we are sponsoring, and we're super excited. Zach, tell us about that quick.
Yes, if you have family, if you have any type of friends and you want to have fun, I expect you to be at Lake Laverne May 16th. We are going to have local vendors. We don't know who yet. We're still waiting for everyone to RSVP with us, but it's going to be tons of fun, tons of people. We have New Sound Wrestling, who puts on a great performance. They're going to have great time in the ring. And then we're also going... What time are they going on?
They're going on at 4, and they're going to have an alternative championship bout. So I'm not sure what alternative championship means, but it's going to be Jameson versus DeLorean. So that's going to be exciting, I'm sure.
Yeah, I like the DeLorean name already. I was telling Terry earlier, I was like, I like him, and then he was reading he was a Dragon Ball Z fan. I was like, oh, I already knew I liked him, and now I like him more. I might go out there, paint it up, DeLorean. But, family friendly. No, there's not going to be any alcohol, no THC, no nicotine. Just great times, great vibes, great friends, family, and great fun.
And free for everybody.
Yep, no cost at all. Hope to see you there. I think we're going to put an end to this now. You guys have a great day.
The final countdown.
Let's Be Blunt is recorded at Star Media Podcasting Suite in downtown Laverne, Minnesota. If you'd like more information about renting the suite, contact Star Media. See our show notes for more details.